Buenos Dias, Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know. Like a motherfucking smack addict, right? And as you can tell by today's thumbnail, yeah, we're going to talk about them hunger strikes that took place, the actual hunger strikes that took place to set forth this end of hostilities and put it in motion, this end of hostilities, which includes the Mexican Mafia, La Nuestra Familia, Aryan Brotherhood, BGF, so on and so forth, these big four being the center focus. And to help these incarcerated upper echelon brass of these organizations get up out these indeterminate shoes, get out the shoe, be able to hit these yards, and then, so along the way, we know in a menudo style and direct fashion what has happened. Of course, the feds recently came and indicted the Nuestra Familia brass and got them up off these yards. But prior to that, people have always wondered why these guys put these hunger strikes and why they put this end to hostilities and things of that nature in motion, right? And here, what I came across is some information of why supposedly two upper echelon members, one of the Nuestra Familia, one Javier Zubarati, and another vato, James Elrod, who was actually a member of the Aryan Brotherhood, the other being a member of the Nuestra Familia, are expressing that the real reasoning behind these hunger strikes and the real reasoning behind these anti-hostilities were for gang members. We're aiming to get on these yards and basically sell drugs and make money is what they're saying. Now, of course, I can't whether confirm this nor deny this. I'm just saying this is something I came across, some information. I'm going to put it out there for the gente. So with that being said, man, let me hit a little article for you guys, and we'll get back to my thoughts and my views and my perspective, what I think is going on here. So it says California prison officials and federal legal filings allege that the ongoing inmate hunger strike was orchestrated by prison gangs. Attached to legal filings in the U.S. District Court on Thursday, the state included declarations signed by former members of the prison gangs known as Nuestra Familia and the Aryan Brotherhood. The two inmates, both convicted murderers, have agreed to provide information against the gangs in return for being moved out of isolation at Pelican Bay State Prison near the Oregon border. Inmate Javier Zubiate, who states he was second-tier leader of the Nuestra Familia, said he and other gang members went on similar hunger strikes in 2011 because one of the public leaders was Antonio Guillen, a Pelican Bay inmate whom Zubiate alleges is the highest-ranking general within Nuestra Familia. To my understanding, the Aryan Brotherhood and the Black Guerrilla family organized the hunger strike, and the Nuestra Familia was the last to sign off. Zubiate's sworn statement says, if you didn't participate, it would be remembered when the time came for a promotion. Guillen is one of four inmates whose name appeared on the current protect demand letters from Pelican Bay. He also is one of 10 Pelican Bay inmates who are part of a federal lawsuit over solitary confinement conditions at the prison. Zubiate and the other inmate informant contend that the chief aim of the hunger strikes is to free gang leaders from the isolation at Pelican Bay. The goal of the 2011 hunger strikes from the perspective of the Aryan Brotherhood was to get out of the security housing unit because we knew it would kill the organization, inmate James Elrod's sworn declaration states. We believed that if we were in the general population, we could sell drugs, make money, and develop an influence on the streets. Correctional officials said 1,235 inmates remained on hunger strike Friday. 4 inmates at 3 prisons Friday refused medical checks, including one who had stopped intravenous fluids, according to the court-appointed medical receiver's office. So basically what they're saying is these two vatos fell out of favor within the organization and felt that if for no other reason, they should make up frivolous lies or frivolous propaganda to put out there and kind of curtail what's going on, the positive with these hunger strikes, right? The positivity. Now, the positive facts are this, man. At the end of the day, whatever brings the gente together and it makes it a force to be reckoned with versus administration is always a good thing. There was guys that were rotting away, man, decaying away back there in them doing indeterminate shoes, basically for life, man. Almost to the point where if you got out and you came back, you were going right back to a shoe as a validated member doing an indeterminate shoe, a validated gang member. Now, a lot of guys went through these hardships for many, many years. From every organization, every group faction. It's not necessarily pertaining to just one group faction. Everybody went through this. And when these four Vatos banded together, one being from each organization, Todd Asher, Chuko Guillen, the Vato from the MA as well as the BGF, um, they did it at a good nature, homes. They did it out of something for their gente, something for their people. They were tired of the oppression. They were tired of the desolation and being stuck back there forever, man, and not getting their due process and getting their due rights. Their social status of equality was stripped from them by being back there in these dungeons, forgot about and like I said, decaying away. So they implemented these hunger strikes, man, to bring awareness and to get all the other gente, man, behind them. Now, quiet as it's kept, I wanted to bring this article up, even though it's an old article and things have progressed and happened since then. They actually won their class action lawsuit, and a lot of rules changed. And we're going to get to that. You know how it bettered for the people and for the inmate population as a whole. But what I wanted to talk about in a menudo style, in a direct fashion, right, was there's also some new hunger strikes coming up out in Pleasant Valley, I'm hearing. Uh, Vatos are feeling some type of way, man. I got an article pertaining to that the other day, in my DMs where Vatos are talking about, hey, they're about to do it again, about to hunger strike because of they're getting fucking persecuted and oppressed on certain yards, man, and stripped of their rights. So they felt that if for another reason, man, they should do another hunger strike. This is the way that inmates fight back. Convicts are able to fight back with these hunger strikes. People say, well, why starve yourself? It's a show of unity, a show of solidarity, right? And a show of hardship. If you can go through it for your fellow man and not eat nothing, man, and show the administration, man, that you stand strong as a unit, then they're forced to do something about it. You need to understand that every inmate is a number. Every number is a ducat. Every ducat is some money from the federal government. So their concern is not your safety and security. Their concern is looking out for you and making sure you have the bare minimum and the meager essentials to live, so that way they can get that fucking big old check next month. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. So the administration, man, is going to push forth to give you the bare minimum of food that you need consistently in your lifetime, so that way you can eat, sustain, sustain just enough fucking calories so you can push on to the next day. This is the whole thing. This is the setup. This is how it is. And everybody knows that. And convicts doing time, man, are very smart individuals. They've been around the block in the 6-4 many, many times, homes. They know this. So what they do is they basically band together on a hunger strike or sit down a protest. It's a way to protest without violence, because their violence are not aimed at each other. And of course, they're not going to get violent with the administration, because that only brings more hardship. So they do it in a peaceful protesting way, and things happen. It's been known, it's shown, man, over time that these type of protests work. They work. They bring awareness. They bring shit to the light. And, some of these demands could get met. They can meet in the middle and make things happen, and it's always in a positive manner, Now, of course, people are going to look at it like, Sasuke, these vatos are fucking, they were doing this just so they can get out of the oil. Simon, they were doing it so they can get out of the oil. Ain't no doubt about that. Now, whatever progressed on them yards, when they hit them yards, whatever they got into, well, what do you expect? They're part of group organizations, part of mobs, part of gangs. Shit's going to happen. You can't expect these motherfuckers to be reformed and go out there and all hold hands and sing kumbaya. That's what was never going to happen, right? And the placas knew that, but Sasuke, it's time to do your job. And that's just what it is, there's cops and robbers, homes. The cops are going to try to catch the robbers, and the robbers are going to try to rob the cop and lay them down. That's just what happens, in life. But whatever the case may be, these two individuals in this article, man, this Javier Zubayate and this Elrod, whatever the fuck his name is, felt that they should defect from their organizations and start flipping and basically throwing their organizations under the bus. They went above and beyond debriefing. See, in every group faction, man, when you drop out of these group factions, you're part of these big four organizations, and you're a prison gang member. There's rules and regulations within your group faction. Every group is different. Every group has a constitution or some rules and regulations or formats that they abide by, and to each group their own. That's their thing. Now, as far as dropping out, the process goes, there will be a debriefing process where you have to sit down with the IGI, the internal gang investigations groups, and basically spill the beans, man. You're going to tell about your former organization, and you're going to give them the whole rundown on the COC, who's running things, what's happening within that institution, and things of that nature. Now, this is not done every single time. There are times where, Instead of you debriefing, they ask you to write a cover story or a cover letter, which is basically a letter detailing or an essay detailing your life story. This has happened in many, many cases. Um, but the debriefing process, is something that I guess differs from individual to individual. And like I said, man, this is a process that's fucking developed over the years from the IGI to basically ascertain as much information as they can from these gang members, figuring that these gang members already are in harm's way and want to get the fuck up off them yards with them active gang members. So they fucking utilize this tool to extract as much information as they can from these motherfuckers, bocas, and that's how it rolls. But in this situation, it just seems odd to me that these two individuals, one being from the Aryan Brotherhood and the other from the NF, and as high ranking as they were, decided to go above and beyond all acquired measures of debriefing and start volunteering information or assuming and giving them the perspective on what they thought the reasoning behind these fucking hunger strikes were. Now, whether that was facts or fiction, that's not the case. The case of the matter is, so I was scared these motherfuckers are out there saying a little way too much. Obviously, they're not tripping anymore. They're in bad standings. They're in the hat. They're fucking deemed no good on the BNLs. So it is what it was, right? But at the same time, man, to try to throw a fucking stick in these Vato spokes or to try to throw some type of fucking sabotage in their game is a cold one. You would think that there would be some type of fucking deep down in your fucking black heart somewhere, there would be some type of fucking love for your gente where you would just say, you know what, it's not for me no more. I'm a wiggle. I'm gonna get the fuck up out of here. But at the same time, man, let the gente do what they do. But these guys took it upon themselves, man. I don't know if the administration worked out a good deal with them or whatever the case may be. What they felt was a good deal. Being both lifers, there's nothing that they could really say to you that you would think would fucking help. But these guys chose to throw their organizations under the bus and let the administration know that the only reason these gang leaders wanted to get out of the oil was so that they could establish these yards and sell dope, right? Now, of course, dope is being sold in prisons from fucking the beginning of time. Back when cavemen were barely learning what fucking fire was, there was already a pipa, right? So, hey, ain't nothing new to that. So what do you think, man? Of course, dope was already being sold out there. This ain't going to change nothing. Just a few more gente with their fucking hands in the cookie jar. And that was it. But, the administration felt that it was necessary to extract as much information out of these individuals and run with that. And this was just basically their side of the coin, their way to fucking tell the judge, look, we should keep these guys incarcerated. We should keep these guys fucking locked back in them shoes because they're violent individuals that just want to come out to these yards. And we got two fucking high-ranking individuals that are saying this is the whole reasoning behind it. They want to further their gang's agenda. They want to further these fucking dope deals. This is what they want to do. Of course, it didn't work out that way. Fast forward to the future. Orale, Marty McFly. And what happens? The Vatos win this civil action suit, right? Of course, it's still in limbo. There's still things going on. Nothing is ever over. The administration doesn't go out like that. They're going to fight when they fight. But at the end of the day, man, these guys fucking, they won. They won, man. It's kudos to the Vatos for winning because at the end of the day, bro, it's for the betterment of all people involved. Not just the Raza, man, but the Gavas as well as the Africanos. Everybody won in this, man. And what came out of this was the end to hostilities. Meaning that these gangs that could never thrive on these yards together because of fucking old, past fucking animosities towards each other are willing and able to walk hand in hand on these yards, man, and to establish for their people. This is always a good thing, whenever there's less violence on the yard between a raza. That's how I see it. Now, of course, some people are going to feel that that's traitorous to the and treason to what your beliefs are, depending on what organization you're from. But at the end of the day, none of that matters. All that matters is what these big guys that are on top, man, believe is better for the people. They are the leadership of the gente, and where they go, you go. Just put your head down and roll, homie. And so that's the case. So a lot of good things came out of it. I mean, I'm hearing now in Pelican Bay, man, guys are receiving tablets that they could communicate on. Where in the past you didn't have shit coming, homes. You were lucky if you had a broke down ass TV and a whole lot of quiet time and burpees. Now they're getting tablets. Basically, they won, homes, for the people. To make time just a little bit easier, man. Things that we take for granted here on the streets that they can get. Are just that much better for the people. Now you say, wait, they did the crime, let them do the time. Oh, they're doing the time. Home's all right. Don't trip. It's not like fucking is Disneyland, but at the same time, man, you can't be mad at these vatos for being able to have communication with their familia, righteously so. Some of these individuals haven't seen their family for years and years and years, let alone grass and fucking smell fresh air. So at the end of the day, man, do these hunger strikes Does this end of hostilities play a big part into the betterment of the people? Absolutely, 100%. I agree. I think sometimes, man, the people have to band together as a whole, not necessarily just the norteños or the sureños or the NF or the M, but everybody, the Aryan Brotherhood, the Black Guerrilla family. You have to put differences to the side, homes, for the betterment of your group faction, because the only way that your group can prosper within prison, with the administration having everything so clamped down, is to finally realize, man, that this is it. It's us and them. If you keep thinking, it's us, them, and them, then you're never going to win, man. You're never going to win, because other group organizations, man, are ahead of the curve, and they're like, fuck that, Holmes. We're going to band together to make it happen. Even if it's just for a little while, Holmes, we're going to win. And that's what I seen. I think Chuco Guillen, I think this Vato from Florencia, I think the Aryan Brotherhood member, as well as well as the BGF member, are visionaries. They seen something that was better for their people, and they ran with it, Holmes, and they were right. Now, of course, with these new indictments going on, Operation Quiet Storm, and the NF leadership getting snatched up, they've been out there on them yards for 8 to 9 to 10 years. It's not like this just fucking happened. They got out 2 days later, they get snatched. No, whatever they established on them yards, they were wiggling, and I'm not here to fucking say what they were doing and what they weren't doing. I guess that's all going to come out in court, and we'll all see it and play it by ear. But at the end of the day, these other group fucking factions are just still doing their thing, and the beat goes on, because that indictment didn't involve them. And if it did, man, I guess we'll find out later on. But the NF was targeted. The NF was targeted because maybe they were just doing a little too much, or maybe not doing enough. Whatever the case may be, the federal government, they always target organizations that they feel are out there fucking really getting it. So this was the case in this situation. At the end of the day, man, like I said, we're gonna find out. We're going to find out exactly what happened. I'm hearing a lot of rumors on people that are flipping. I'm hearing rumors on people that aren't flipping. And I can't actually bring you guys the concrete evidence without seeing facts, paperwork, and things of that nature, man, because that would be fucking frivolous and fucking just not righteous to tell you one thing and then it be another. But I am hearing, rumors of certain individuals that have flipped. So when the time comes, man, and the paperwork is viewed, then, that'll be brought out. I'm sure, if not by me, by other members of people on this, on this YouTube shit. Anyways, at the end of the day, man, I just wanted to say, I think these hunger strikes and whatever goes into them, man, is the sacrifices made for one's people to prosper. Think about it. Think about it. You put yourself through, not eat shit. If I don't eat for one day, motherfucker, I need a taco. You feel me? So to put yourself for weeks at a time through this hardship, it's just like joining the gang, man. You take a beating to get jumped in this gang by your homeboys, because the fucking old motto goes, if you take it from the homies, you'll take one for the homeboys, right? And it's pretty much the same thing. If you do it unified together, you guys starve together, homes, then you'll eat together. You understand? That's what I've always, considered, that, starving together means eating together later on, because there'll be more to eat. And that's just how it goes. Anyways, what do you guys think? I wanted to get your feedback in the comments on what you think, how this whole situation is going to play out with this NF state and Fed faction, with these other organizations, still being on these yards, having to maintain, you don't think they're stressed out? I would be worried about, because, one thing about the Feds, man, that I've known and come to pass, man, that is when they get, when fucking shit starts going, they get go. When the going gets rough, the going gets tough, man. They start to go and indictments start to fly. That's just how they go. They're constantly having these organizations, man, under the scope. And who's going to be next, is the question. And I know everyone's worried about that and stressing off that situation. But I guess we'll just find out, will we? Again, these two individuals on this thumbnail, man, dirtbag ass individuals, the way I feel. And that's straight up. And I'm going to tell you the reasoning behind it and what my reasoning and my thinking is. Okay, if you don't want to be part of an organization no more, fucking vale verga, go do your thing. Go fucking kick back, homes. Go to fucking Hawaii or wherever the fuck you want to go and chill. If you're doing all day, well, then I guess fucking you'll be on the SNY fucking kicking it. Whatever the case may be, man, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you are what you are. You do what you do as a man. And no one's going to look and frown upon you, man, for the decisions you make for your life. It's your life, vato. You know what I mean? You're doing all day. So, man, I understand your plight. At the end of the day, though, when you fucking decide to fucking sabotage the gentes or your fucking past organization's dealings and willings, man, that's kind of cold, Holmes. What did these people do to you? You know what I mean? What have you done for me lately? What did they do, Holmes, to make you fucking go assed out backwards that much? Two individuals from two different group sections to fucking think that they could fucking just slander the character of this organization's. It's just a cold game, man. The games people play, they go above and beyond, you know? Just a trip. Anyways, at the end of the day, man, they are what they are. I just wanted to put this little story out there for you. I know it's a kind of an older story and things have fucking progressed, to nowadays. But at the end of the day, man, it's good to always look back and prepare oneself, educate oneself. And to these type of individuals that do this, man, too many people knowing the business, and this is what happens, shit like this. Anyways, I hope that you guys move fast with a purpose. I hope that you go out there and get it hustling. Remember, man, hustling is moving fast with a purpose. It's all about providing for your familia. At the end of the day, it's all about the raza unity, man. Whatever benefits the people as a whole is always a positive thing. With that being said, man, I hope you guys like and subscribe. I hope you guys like the channel. We're doing what we do right here. Gunners Collective, ain't nothing to it but to do it. We're getting our mom right over here so we can fucking shine right. Bang, bang, the gun. And in that motherfucking fashion.